Hello and welcome back to the Elite Takeover Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the weekly wrestling shows, Raw, SmackDown, you know, the drill, all that kind of stuff. I, of course, am always Aidan, and I am joined by, as always,
Raph.
The best introductions, of course, around here. And now we are back, of course, and if you want to catch all the shows we are going to be doing, make sure to check us out on Twitter, Instagram, under the Elite Takeover, Twitter, Elite Takeover YT. We've just relaunched our gaming channel, which is the Elite Takeover Plays. Let's go over onto YouTube to go and follow that. All of this kind of stuff. Make sure if you listen to us on a podcast app, give us subscribe, download, likes, ratings, all this kind of nonsense. It just helps us keep doing this and be able to do this more regularly and easier. So, let's talk about Raw tonight. This is the final Raw before Survivor Series.
Woo!
Yes. Were you for Survivor Series? Are you excited for Survivor Series?
Nah.
No.
No.
I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be fine. It's fine. It's not like bad matches. Just no build to any of the matches.
It's quite a few of them that we've seen before.
Yeah, it's a lot of rematches. But we'll see. We'll see. There should be like the odd good thing on there. Yeah. And it'd be interesting what happens with Taker and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we'll see. But we started off tonight with a Drew McIntyre promo. This was very much the entire night is pretty much based around this this main event scene that we're having tonight. This main event of Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Most things kind of linked into that. Starting off with McIntyre coming down. He talks about Survivor Series and the fact that Survivor Series obviously is around Thanksgiving time. And so he talks about what he's thankful for. He's thankful for basically everything. He's thankful for the fans, family, friends, all the stuff you'd expect. He's thankful for all of them. And he says that, of course, there are some doubters out there. Mm-hmm. There are some doubters. And to those doubters, he tells them, look between the lines, and puts up 3 fingers. So put 2 and 2 together, and you get 2. But I'm so funny. He says that he's going to humble. Right, did you just get it?
Yes.
Well done.
Thanks.
He says that he's going to humble Roman Reigns and he's going to claymore him back down to earth off of his big perch that he's on. And yeah, typical Drew McIntyre stuff. Orton comes out and interrupts him. Well, he doesn't come out, he's on the Tron. He interrupts on the Tron and Orton does the same thing Drew does.
How do you call it?
The Tron, yeah. The Titantron.
Nice.
Yeah, the
You
Tron.
learn something every day.
The big screen. The big screen in the corner.
Yeah, that's what I always thought. It's
Yeah.
just the big screen.
No, Titantron.
Nice.
So Tron. Orton says, well, he is thankful for her as well, and essentially he's thankful for himself. He's thankful for having the WWE Championship, having it 14 times. Talks about how he is the wrestler who has been suspended the most, that he's the wrestler who has spent the most time at home on suspensions, all this kind of nonsense, which is very true. And perhaps you shouldn't be boasting about this so much, because I remember the fact that you technically probably shouldn't have a job if the wellness policy was followed properly, which it wasn't.
He's thankful for WWE being
very lenient with him. But
yes.
he says this is because he is the greatest wrestler ever. Which, of course, he did prove when he beat Edge in the greatest wrestling match ever.
Oh God! Oh God!
Well,
Let's not go there.
We're gonna get the rematch. It's gonna happen. Fingers crossed it doesn't. Now he's lost. Now, spoilers, he's lost the title. So fingers crossed.
They've been talking. I saw it on
yeah, they're
Twitter,
talking about the Fiends and Edge.
That'd be cool.
Potentially at WrestleMania.
Nice.
It'd be interesting.
Be a nice little.
The only thing is, because obviously they have no history.
Yeah, exactly.
They've never
they
interacted.
Would have to build
It'd kind of be a difficult one to work out, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't get there. You get there through Randy Orton, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of work through that connection, I guess. Yeah. Like, if they wanted to do another, like, Firefly Funhouse thing, I don't know. I think that'd be better with Randy.
Yeah.
To do a Firefly Funhouse. At least there's a lot more with it.
Yes.
Like, Edge would be fun as well, but Edge is more difficult because there's less like connection to the Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why the Fiend would want to deal with
exactly.
Edge. It's a bit more complicated that way. But so after Orton says his bit on the Tron, Drew says that it's all going to end tonight. The rivalry is going to end tonight, and I hope so. We'll see.
I don't think it will, but
I really hope so. I
don't think it will.
Yeah, I don't know. Miz and Morrison then come out and ruin the fun, saying that they're going to be front row for the match tonight. They throw a bit of shade over towards Bray Wyatt, calling him a spoopy dude, essentially.
And just saying, like, oh, when we told Bray to get away from, like, the scene of us and Orton and McIntyre. Like, he hasn't showed up yet. He didn't show up last week, so he's taken the advice. So he's kind of like throwing a lot of shade to the Fiend.
Yes, pretty much. And Miz promises that he will be champion by the end of the night.
Yeah.
He didn't live up to that. He lied. He didn't promise. He's not Paul Heyman. He can't keep to his promises. Next, we have some Survivor Series build for the Women's Survivor Series team. We have Asuka, Mandy, and Dana taking on Shayna, Nia, and Lana.
Why? We don't know. Jokes.
Well, no, we do know.
Yeah, we do
know
know
exactly why. We don't know why Asuka was involved.
Exactly.
But we know why the match happened.
Yes.
Well, Asuka's involved because they need to put her on TV because she has a Survivor Series match.
And because she's
which
good.
They've done no build for.
Yeah.
And she's the Raw Women's Champion.
Exactly.
Who hasn't had a feud since SummerSlam. She hasn't had a feud since SummerSlam. That's crazy.
Yeah, because it was... Oh... Because then she got the Money in the Bank and she just got the title.
No.
No?
SummerSlam was Sasha and Bayley. She beat Sasha and Bayley in the same night at SummerSlam.
Yes.
Then Payback, I don't think she did anything. Then Clash of Champions, I think she faced Selena Vega in that nothing match.
She did.
Which was supposed to be on the pre-show, which then moved on to the main card because Nikki Cross had... because Nia and Shayna couldn't be there, that's why. Nia couldn't be there. I can't remember exactly. She got to be on the main card, and then obviously she wasn't on Hell in a Cell. And so she hasn't had a proper feud since SummerSlam.
Yeah.
She hasn't had a proper feud that's been solely on Raw since she won the belt, basically. That's crazy. She had a dreadful reign. She has really bad. She's had not for like. She had great matches and like she done some great stuff with like Bayley and Sasha. But it says so much about the Raw, the scene on Raw.
Yeah. So for you really guys, like we were looking earlier into like the list of like what women superstars were on Raw, how many there were on. As in,
I understand what you mean.
Yeah, like on Raw and on SmackDown, and it's just there's no one.
There's only 10 women on SmackDown.
Yeah.
9 now because obviously Chelsea Green got injured. So there's only 9 technically women on SmackDown.
And then on Raw is not much better than that.
There's like 15 on Raw.
Yeah.
But obviously like the big stars aren't there.
No.
The only big stars on Raw really are Charlotte and Becky, who obviously aren't here right now. Charlotte will be coming back soon. But then then obviously you have Asuka, who's also a big star. But in terms of the rest of the roster, you have Shayna, but they've done a good job at making Shayna not really mean very much.
Yes.
And then you have Nia, and then the rest of it's all kind of like,
Yeah.
Like you have Lacey, who you could do something with, but they don't really have any interest in doing anything with her.
And obviously you have Alexa and
Nikki, but they're busy.
They are doing their own thing.
And we've already kind of... And they wouldn't work with Asuka as like challenge. Obviously Alexa would, but Alexa's busy.
Yeah.
And Alexa shouldn't really... I don't think Alexa should be doing much else at the moment being. Until they eventually like make her Lady Fiend or whatever they're going to do. That's kind of a point where maybe they should do something with it, but we'll see. But yes, this match here was set up because Lana wants to be taken seriously. She's like, I saw what happened last week with Miz, Morrison and Randy Orton. They all teamed up. And I thought maybe if I teamed up with you, Nia and Shayna, maybe you would love me.
You'd accept me.
Maybe you tuck me in at bed at night. Maybe you give me kisses on the forehead. Maybe you give me a duvet instead of putting me through the bed every night.
Through the bed.
Nia tells her, don't tag in. If you tag in, we're going to end you, basically.
We'll kill you.
Yeah. So the match starts and Lana is going to start the match. She's very keen to start the match. She's like, I'm going to do this. But Shayna's like, nope, tags herself in straight away. Shayna dominates pretty much. She ends up stomping Mandy's hand onto the steel steps on the outside, and then Mandy Rose disappears. She is gone because injuries. I don't know if this is true or not. We'll see. I saw someone on Twitter say that she was already injured. She got injured last week, apparently. I don't know. I didn't see it from a reputable source.
That did make me think, like when they said she was out of the Survivor Series team.
Yeah.
It made me wonder, like...
I think there is some genuine injury there.
So much out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think there is some kind of genuine injury there for Matt. I imagine for Mandy, because she wasn't really in the match.
Exactly.
She only really took the hand spot and that was it. So I do feel like Mandy must be injured in some variety of way. And realistically, if you're not going to have Mandy in there, what's the point of having Dana?
Exactly.
Let's be real. But yeah, Shayna runs house over all of them. Asuka eventually gets the hot tag from Dana. It goes wild for a second, but Shayna manages to get in the Kirifuda clutch. Looks like she's about to win the match, but because she backed into the corner for a second, Lana takes the opportunity, gets the tag, and Asuka looks like she's basically out of it. She's pretty much unconscious in the Kirifuda clutch. Shayna would have won, but the ref's like, no, you're not the legal woman. And then Shayna looks at Lana's like, what the... And then Lana goes and tries to do a move, and of course Asuka kicks out and then puts on the Asuka lock and wins. And it was very strange because they kind of... I wonder whether they forgot what they were supposed to be doing or something. Because Asuka and Dana started celebrating in the ring, and you could see them in the corner having a little party. Yeah. And then as soon as you see like Nia and Shayna start taking Lana to the outside, they literally run off and disappear.
They just leave.
They just vanish. It's really odd, especially like these baby faces, these strong baby faces you'd think would want to help poor Lana, who's been put through a table 9 times now. You think maybe they would want to do something about it, but no, apparently Asuka and Dana don't care. And they didn't care about Mandy either because they were just celebrating in the corner by themselves, not caring. That was really odd. I don't really know what happened there. I could see like Asuka celebrating, but like it's because Dana was also celebrating with her. It's a bit weird.
Yes.
A bit odd. Nia sets up the table. She plays with Lana and is like, you know what? This week, you've impressed us.
Yes.
You've been a good kitty cat, Lana. You've been a good kitty cat. Wow. Meow, meow, meow. They gave her a nice little stroke on the head, and they go to leave, and then, of course, Nia comes back, puts her through the table.
Surprise, surprise.
And then Lana has a little cry in the corner. She's very upset and heartbroken that she doesn't get tucked into bed. I don't know why I come up with this narrative, but hey-ho. It's what it is now. It wasn't very good. And... we'll get on to the rest of it later in the night because there's more developments with this later in the night. We see the men's team backstage. They're all arguing as they have been doing these past few weeks. Bickering. Typical Survivor Series bickering. AJ Styles comes in and tries to get everyone on the same page. He wants all of them to get along. And they all hate to lose, and that's the thing that's going to connect them together. They all hate to lose, but they need a warm-up match tonight, and that's what they're going to get. They're going to have a match against Retribution later tonight, and it's all going to work out great for them. He hands out shirts to all of the boys, and they kind of, Braun and Keith and Sheamus were like, this is tiny, I can't wear this.
This is way too small.
It's way too small. They all walk off. Riddle comes back in and he wants to give a nickname to the big guy. He wants to give him a nickname, and they just like, we're not doing. I wasn't rubbish accent, so I'm not going to do it. We're not doing nicknames. We're not doing it. And then Riddle chats to the big guy, calls him Almas or something. I assume not Almas because obviously that was Andrade, so that's a bit odd. And he speaks. He breaks his silence.
Yeah, because AJ's like, why are you talking to him? Don't even talk to him. Don't even look to him. And then he suddenly just speaks to Riddle, being like, yo, mate, what's up? But like with that very...
No, he doesn't know.
He doesn't do that, but...
That's not what happens. AJ says, AJ's like, what, did you talk to him? Yeah. I didn't even know you could talk English. And he's like, yes, I can. And then he's like, what? Why didn't you tell me? You never asked.
You never asked.
Yeah. Great. It was funny. It was funny. AJ's very good.
Yes.
The team stuff, it's a bit like the bickering's a little bit irritating, but it's fun. At least there's some form of storyline.
I kind of want to see AJ and Riddle kind of teaming up. Like Riddle being high as he is, and then having AJ just like funny. Yeah. There'll be
something interesting there. We've kind of seen AJ and Riddle a bit, but there's something interesting to be done there. We continue to be backstage once we come back from the advert break, and
a lot of backstage.
There's a lot of promos on today's show. We see Dana Brooke. She's backstage. She's by the medical office. She's like
panicking.
She's panicking about Mandy. Mandy's not okay. Mandy isn't okay after Shayna Baszler stomped on her hand. after Dana had a little celebration and didn't care about Mandy.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, in comes Reckoning. Reckoning comes in and beats up Dana Brooke. Beats her up, stomps her into the boxes. And we come back to this again later tonight. We go to the Firefly Funhouse now.
Woo!
This is all about The Miz. Bray Wyatt is very upset about the fact that The Miz called him out earlier in the night. He's not a happy bunny.
And we have the little... why do I always forget his name? The spoopy crow. He's not a crow, I know, the vulture. Why did we forget? Mercy.
Mercy the Buzzard.
Yes. We see that him and Sister Abigail with like a little figure. Like
Abby the Witch.
A pop.
Abby the Witch.
Sorry. A pop figure of the Miz. And Abby with the glasses. Like
yes.
Cool glasses of Miz. It's just really funny.
Yeah, nice stuff. He makes a joke about the Miz sacrificing his offspring to the lizard overlords, which I found quite entertaining. It was a bit odd, but that's Bray for you. He challenges the Miz to a match, and then he goes through a little bit of a montage package of him getting ready for this match against the Miz tonight.
His special workout for the Miz.
Is there any... Oh, I hoped... I was just looking then and I was like, oh, maybe there was a little, maybe they spelled something out with the words. So I was like A, S, but then it's A. I wish it was ASS.
ASS.
I wish.
That would have been funny.
So we start off with agility and he has a blindfold on and he's fighting off all the puppets. As soon as they get near him, he just karate chops them away. Very Cobra Kai kind of stuff. And then he goes to the spelling bee and he has to spell the word. Jackass. Jackass.
Can you please use the word jackass in a sentence?
And of course, he ends up spelling out Miz, because Miz is a jackass. And then accuracy. Rambling Rabbit is on the dartboard. He has the apple on his head. It's the typical thing.
Is safe?
I never miss. I never miss, says Bray. And of course, he doesn't miss. He hits just where he wants. Just to the right-hand side of Rambling Rabbit's heart. And then in between shots, they move it to the bullseye.
Yes.
Because that's where it was supposed to be in the first place.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Maybe they didn't have time to refilm it. I don't know. It was a bit weird. But yeah.
Bullseye, more like Rabbit's heart.
And Bray and Alexa laugh. And yeah.
Alexa's getting better and better at this.
Yeah, she's getting a little more comfortable in the Funhouse stuff.
And even live, like what she did later on, like...
I think she's always been good at the live stuff. I think it was the Funhouse where she struggled a little bit. Probably because it's so much written by Bray.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little bit harder. And obviously Bray would have had to adjust the way it was anyway for Alexa to be there. So. Yeah. Next up, we have the Hurt Business come out getting ready for their tag team title match tonight against the New Day. They all chat for about 5 minutes, but they basically say, we're going to win. That's all they really say. Everything. They're going to win everything. They're going to win at Survivor Series. They're going to win tonight. They kind of just say that. Nothing really that important from the Hurt Business. Typical Hurt Business sharks talking. The New Day come out. Is it just me? Or without Big E, with the New Day, I'm getting a bit bored.
A little bit. It just... They ramble too much.
Yeah.
Just a little bit too much, because with Biggie, I think because he had 3 people,
yes,
it kind of made it a bit more fluid.
Yes.
Whilst with just 2 people, it's just like a one-on-one conversation.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
This one, and then 2 weeks ago when they had this same promo with the Hurt Business, both times they both just went on.
This one was better, but it wasn't.
This one. Yeah, but this one just had. They called them the Jerk Business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was supposed to be a bad joke, but it just was bad. And then
it was just bad.
MVP called it an epic fail.
I know, that made me giggle.
Which was fun. I enjoyed that. Epic fail. Yeah. New Day come out and they just say, it's a lie. What you've said is a lie. We are going to be... everything's a lie apart from the fact that it will be the best versus the best, as in the New Day versus the Street Profits. Which means that the New Day aren't a very good member of Team Raw. Because that means that the New Day want Sami Zayn to beat Bobby Lashley. Because they said that Bobby Lashley beating Sami Zayn is a lie. So apparently they want Sami Zayn to beat Bobby Lashley. So the Jerk Business versus the New Day. Pretty good match. Honestly, I got a little bit bored during it. It was a good match. It was a good match. I think maybe it just been... It was a bit too much of a style change from what we'd been having for the rest of the night, I think, was the thing.
Yeah, I know what I mean.
But yeah, it was a really good match. Alexander and Shelton really worked very well together. It was a really cool spot where Kofi was going for the boom drop, but Shelton caught the boom drop and pulled him up into a powerbomb.
It looks so
It
impressive.
was awesome. It was a really cool counter, which I wouldn't have thought of. It's really awesome. Cedric Alexander did some wicked suicide dives. He's been watching some Darby Allin matches.
Yeah.
He probably went for them. He did catch his feet at one point, but he was going for those dives. Made them really mean something.
No, he really sold them.
Really good match. And the only thing that bothers me about this is the fact that we probably should have held this off. This should have been like I know we're probably... There's only like 3 tag teams on Raw.
Yeah, so I was going to say we're going to have it again.
This ain't going to stop. But I would have liked to maybe held this off until TLC, had the big match there. If I'm honest, I don't think we needed this because like we already had the Drew versus Orton match. And honestly, if we'd had Hurt Business versus Street Profits, that would have been lackluster. Yeah. Because the match that we want to see is New Day versus Street Profits. Yes. I don't think anyone would argue with that. And like on SmackDown, the entire build, because the SmackDown, we haven't really watched too much SmackDown recently. We're going to get back into it. Yeah. But the build essentially has been the Street Profits backstage talking to Big E about the New Day. That's essentially been the build. Like they've already done stuff towards it. They weren't going to change it all up. So I don't necessarily think this was needed. Maybe we could have had like Kingston versus Alexander. That would have been a really fun match. Just to kind of save this. Because like now this is the second...
We surely will have it later on.
I know, but we've already had this match 2 times now.
Yeah, exactly.
So like we can have the rubber match, but like that's already 2 times you've had this, and it's a bit of a shame. But hey, but they win with Daybreak, their new finisher, their new tag finisher, 1, 2, 3, and the New Day win. They go towards Survivor Series to face the Street Profits in what was probably going to... I was going to say probably match the night, but... No, Drew and Roman's probably going to be. Even though their past matches haven't necessarily been amazing, but it's such a different dynamic now that I think it's going to work so much better. But yeah,
it's going to be a fun match for sure. The tag team match.
Oh yeah, it's going to be the most fun match tonight.
It's going to be very fun, and who knows, Big E might I don't know.
No, all that's going to happen there is. Big E will probably be watching backstage, and post-match, Big E will come out and hug the New Day if they win or if they lose. Yeah, like he'll come out, he'll probably.
But it's just nice to see them all together again and everything. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, because I do kind of think. I'm not making my prediction yet. We're not there yet.
No.
Later in the week. It's going to be a half prediction, this one. But I do think the Street Profits are probably going to be the New Day. And I could see Big E comes down. He raises the arm of the Street Profits to be like, yeah, SmackDown, we rule. And then he goes over to his friends and he hugs them. Yeah. I can see that happening. I don't think it should. Because they should probably hold off a big New Day reunion. When Big E wins a big title. Yeah. Honestly. But anyway, so we go backstage. Drew and Sheamus are backstage, continuing this friendship of Drew and Sheamus. It's nice to see. Yeah. They're good Celtic boys. They get along with each other. Sheamus has found a chest, a dead man's chest for Drew McIntyre. Drew opens the chest and he's like, oh, yes.
I haven't seen this since I thought I'd never see this again.
He was very excited, and then Sheamus comes in and he passes him the sword of King Arthur, and Drew raises the sword, and he has become the new King of England. No, it's a claymore because
it's the claymore sword. It's when they used to be.
It's a claymore.
Yeah,
it's a claymore.
It's nice. It's nice to see
It's a claymore.
Okay.
It's a claymore. We go back, and Retribution are cutting a promo backstage. Pretty much what they've been saying these last few weeks. Nothing interesting. Ali's good at promos. Mustafa Ali is good at promos. I need to give him his proper name. He's good at promos. And it was nice to see Reckoning have a bit of a words in there as well. Where she was saying about what she'd done to Dana earlier in the night. But Retribution essentially saying that they're always one step ahead. and they hate Team Raw for being spineless cowards,
yes.
and they're all going to implode tonight, which will give Retribution the win, and Retribution won't even have to do anything.
Exactly.
Mwahahaha. We go straight into the match now. Everyone comes out. It takes a long time for everyone to come out.
Yes.
I think that's another thing from tonight. There was a lot of entrances. But yeah, as you would expect, this was kind of lots of bickering. Mm-hmm. So Matt Riddle starts the match. Riddle, I should say. Just Riddle. He's just the Riddle. He's the Riddler. And we kind of get into things. Strowman and Sheamus both want the tag from Riddle, but it doesn't end up with either of them getting the tag because they end up fighting on the outside, getting into it, bickering with each other, start pushing each other around. AJ was on commentary and he runs over and he's like, guys, please stop.
We're a team.
We're a team. I'm the team leader. I'm the team captain. Come on, we need to get on the same page. And they throw AJ into the big guy.
Yeah, Braun's like, you're not the team leader.
Braun, I'm a choo-choo train. And he throws AJ into the big guy. Riddle, we come back from ad break, and AJ's come back to commentary. He's nice, happy now. They don't really follow up with that bit. Riddle gets beaten up for ages. Because obviously he was the legal man at the beginning of the match, and because he couldn't get the tag, Retribution have continued to work on him for the rest of the match, essentially.
Yeah.
They keep working on him, till eventually he manages to break free from Mustafa and gets the hot tag into Keith Lee, who runs wild, knocking everyone around the place, looking really good.
Mustafa runs away.
Mustafa runs away. He doesn't want to be involved in this at all. He does a cool thing where he picks up Slapjack like he's in it for the Spirit Bomb, but because he gets distracted by the other guys, he starts swinging him around, hitting Mace and hitting T-Bar. Mace and T-Bar end up getting him on the outside looking for the double choke slam. Keith's about to get out of it, but then Mustafa comes over the top and hits a huge suicide dive onto Keith Lee, which allows him to get a bit of an advantage. At this point, Braun Strowman decides to go all choo-choo train. We have the slightest bit of hope for Team Raw.
Yes, we have the slightest teamwork.
Yes, Braun, he does the choo-choo train to them, and then there's only one guy left, it's Slapjack, and instead of letting Braun do the choo-choo train, Sheamus runs along, Bro kicks in, bit of teamwork there for a second, and then all the boys are on the side, they want to tag. All of them end up tagging each other. So, Lee was in the ring getting ready to go and do his fit, getting ready to do a big move, and then Sheamus is like, no, I want to do the big move. He then does his big fella in the corner, and then Braun's like, I want to do the big move. And then Braun's like, Braun, I'm a choo-choo train. And he goes for the running power slam onto Ali. But Sheamus gets back in the ring, pulls Ali off the shoulders of Braun. We have a bit more bickering. At some point during this, Riddle gets the tag. I don't know when that happens. I didn't see that happening.
Yeah.
It all goes into a big bicker, allowing Mustafa Ali to get the roll-up on Matt Riddle. And Retribution managed to pick up the big win here tonight over the bickering Team Raw.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Pretty fine match. Nothing overly exciting in this one. Just mainly storyline stuff for Team Raw. Nice to see Retribution get a win.
Yes.
It's always good if they want to do something with them in the future. And this builds up the Survivor Series. Like, it's going to be interesting. Like, at least there's some kind of storyline going into this, because there's not really any storyline on Team SmackDown. The only storyline really is that Jey Uso. That's kind of the only storyline on Team SmackDown. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes on Survivor Series. We go backstage and we have two separate interviews squished into one segment. Nikki Cross is looking around backstage. She is searching everywhere looking for Lexi. She needs to find Alexa, and she won't give up on her. One of the people backstage, I don't remember who, is like, what's up? Why? Are you okay?
Like Alexa, you gave Alexa an ultimatum last week telling her, like, either the Fiend or you. Why are you still looking for her if she chose the Fiend? And she was like, no, I'm never going to give up on her.
It's what true friends do.
I'm never going to give you up. Never gonna let you down.
And Nikki goes, wait, please stop. We don't want to get copyrighted.
Sorry.
Well, it's fine. I'm joking.
It's me singing. It's okay.
The interviewer turns around and she sees on the other side of the room Jeff Hardy is pulling flyers off the wall, and these flyers are badly photoshopped things asking if anyone knows anything about the car crash from May or June, around that time, when Elias was hit by the car. And Hardy's like, I'm going to find him. We come back from the ad break and Elias is in his room playing the guitar. And Jeff Hardy gets in his face and is like, I found you, Elias. And Elias is like, I wanted to find out what was going on. I want to find out who the culprit is. And Hardy's like, no, you won't. I don't like this. And Elias said, well, Jeff, you know the most about it because it was you who did it. And Jeff's like, I was proven innocent. If you keep on doing this, then I'll be guilty of much worse than hitting you with a car. I'll be guilty of poking you in the eyes. Why are we still doing this?
I thought it was over.
I thought it was over after the guitar and a pole match.
I really thought it was over.
I thought we were done, but no. Makes me sad. Makes me very sad. Next up, we get into the Miz and Wyatt stuff. Miz comes out, cuts a promo before the match gets started, saying that he doesn't want to fight Wyatt. Like they can both get on the same page. They both want the same thing. They both want Randy Orton. So he's like, you can go and take out Randy Orton, then I can cash in my briefcase and I can be champion. We can all be happy.
Yeah.
Alexa comes out and we finally get to hear her new music.
It's so good.
Twisted Bliss music.
It's so good.
They should probably call it that. They should call it Twisted Bliss. That's what the music should be called.
It's so good.
It's really nice.
I love it.
Really nice version of her song. She comes out and says that, well, he says no. He ain't going to do that. And then Nikki comes out from backstage. She's finally found Alexa and she tells her she has to leave. She has to get out of this right now.
Alexa, get out of here. Get out of here.
Alexa, leave. Leave, Alexa. Our accents are bad today. It's late. Alexa kind of thinks about it for a second, then slaps her around the face. They kind of start brawling. Nikki and Alexa rolling on top of each other, brawling, punching.
Who was it that grabbed Alexa? I don't know who it was, but like Alexa was literally being carried out. Like just
Alexa was literally being carried.
Yeah, like Alexa had her feet off the ground, just completely fighting it off. It was really funny.
But then as soon as Bray Wyatt's music hits, Alexa calms down and she's so happy and excited to see Bray here. And then they go down to the ring. Elbow in elbow, very happy to be back to each other. They have to give the moment
of like when
Bray stares
down at Nikki, and Nikki's just like very upset at
yes.
And so Bray is very upset at Nikki as well. So he looks at her for quite a bit, but then he looks at Lex and then just both like burst into laughter, and it's
break into full funhouse mode.
It's so funny. It's so good.
Yes,
it's so good.
The match starts and Bray says he'll forgive the Miz. He'll forgive me, puts his hand out looking for a handshake, and Miz, no. He kicks him in the face. He's like, I don't want this. I'm going to go after you. Which is a fair thing to do. Miz has been in the ring with Wyatt before. And Wyatt did try to hit him with a hammer.
Yeah.
So,
oh, God, I forgot about that, yes.
Because then Brian came back and stopped him from doing it with his short hair. Yes, it's weird that was like almost a year ago. That feels wild. This time last year, Bray Wyatt was your Universal Champion.
Oh God,
that's weird.
With the really cool belt.
Yes, when he had the actual Fiend belt, and then the red belt after he beat Rollins in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Wowzers. Some fun stuff here with Morrison trying to do the stuff they've been doing in all the Miz matches lately. Morrison tries to interfere. Wyatt and Bliss scare Morrison every time he does it. We get to the end of the match. There's one point where the Miz trips over. But it was really smooth, though. They got it straight back into action. It was really nice. But the Miz did clearly trip, but then Bray picks him straight up and Sister Abigail. It's really nice. Wyatt goes to the corner for the Sister Abigail again. Morrison stops it, grabbing his foot. Bray stares down at him, scaring him away to the other corner, at which point Alexa leaps onto him. She
flies over the steps and over to Morrison, away from into the
over the barricade towards the Thunderdome stuff.
And they both just disappear.
Yeah. And then Miz tries to take advantage, but Sister Abigail, 1, 2, 3, Bray wins. Bray goes and finds Alexa and they walk off together. Alexa peers over the side,
laughing a lot, and then she does like a tightrope on top of the barricade. And
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's just really cute, and like Bray was like, well done, like really cute.
They make their way up the ramp, but then the Fiend is on the screen and stares down at them. Titantron.
Tron.
On the Tron. Turns up on the Tron looking down at them. we'll see where this goes. Hopefully,
they are both a bit frightened.
They're both scared of him.
Yeah, or not even scared, but like in trance. As soon as he appears, they both kind of like stop completely and look up to him. So we can tell that it's kind of no, we can tell, but
hopefully, what we hope the idea is that the Fiend is more of like an entity that can kind of
take over you.
So it can be Alexa like can be demon. The Fiend, Bray can be the Fiend. So then they can both kind of have this kind of transition.
Can be the Fiend. I still want Nikki to be together with
That's going to be gross in your headphones. That felt gross in my headphones.
Did it?
Yeah.
Nice.
We go back.
Let me in. You're welcome.
ASMR. Ew. You feel like you're selling yourself now, do you?
Yeah.
You're going to get weird messages now. Mandy and Dana are now confirmed not to be in Survivor Series after the brutal attacks put upon them tonight. Adam Pearce confirms they won't be in it. This, like we said earlier, this very much feels like Mandy was injured.
For real, yeah.
For real, and they've just taken both of them out.
This was the point where I was like, oh, okay. Because earlier when Reckoning attacked Dana, I was like, oh, is she going to be on the team? Like, she took Dana to be on the team. And then when he said that both of them weren't going to be on it, I was like, okay, so Mandy's probably...
Yeah,
injured for real.
Yeah, so it's going to be Lacey and Peyton, which is better for the team. They're better wrestlers, to be honest. So I'm happy for them to be on the team. They're fun.
And they looked really good together today as well.
They do, yes. Peyton has made she's posted things on social media saying about how she won't be in she doesn't want to be in another team and she won't be in another team.
Yeah.
And so this isn't going to...
Which is fair enough.
Yeah, but you can have a friendship without being in a team.
Exactly.
And I think that's the line to draw here. They don't have to be going after the tag team titles together.
Yeah, exactly.
They can just be having a friendship or a relationship.
Yeah.
And that's all that really matters. Asuka comes in. Typical Asuka stuff. She's so excited she will beat Sasha Banks. No one is ready for Asuka, you know. We see Orton briefly. Doesn't matter. It's Orton.
Yeah.
You know what he's saying. RKO. He didn't actually say RKO at all.
He didn't.
Angel Garza's back again doing another promo talking about roses. He is the thorn of the rose. He is going to protect you. He is going to protect y'all, girl. He's going to make sure that y'all all okay, girl. He's going to protect y'all beauty. Yeah. Tells you to look at your partner next to you. Will they protect your beauty like I will?
Do you remember the last time he did the promo?
Yes.
Was it before Anaya promo? Do you remember at all? No.
I have no idea.
Because the first time he started like showing up being like all this, he was very into Naya. And it makes me wonder like if...
He's just into everyone.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe we'll see something like that in the future.
Who knows?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that'll be fun.
It just made me wonder because obviously Naya kind of seemed
she was interested in, yeah.
So it would be fun if like the last promo he did was also like before Naya. Yeah. Like that would have been an interesting...
That'd be interesting. I don't know. I haven't noticed. Maybe we'll have to keep an eye in the future.
I only noticed this one, yeah.
But yeah, because so like you said, Naya comes out and Naya and Shayna are backstage next. They bicker about losing Mandy and Dana. Naya's not happy about what Shayna did to Mandy. And Shayna's like, well, so what? They're useless. And also, I didn't do that to Dana. That was reckoning.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Lacey and Peyton come in. Lacey's given all the shade to Shayna and Naya. And Peyton wants to be nice and friendly and wants to strategize. They decide to back away after Shayna and Naya are being a bit spooky.
You're busy. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Yeah, and then we go forward to our main event of the evening, the WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre versus Randall Keith. Drew comes out with his blue kilt and his claymore.
That was so cool.
Takes the sword up, very like a WrestleMania kind of entrance. You reminded me of... you won't have seen this, but when Seth fought... Randy Orton Triple H. Randy Orton and Triple H, they're so similar. When he faced Triple H at WrestleMania, because it was like when he just started doing the burn it down stuff. Yeah. So he came up with a torch planted the torch into the stage, and then the fire. No,
the
fire came down the rampway.
I think you've shown me that entrance.
I might have. I don't know. We haven't watched. We wouldn't have watched the match because the match isn't very. It's fine. It's boring. It's Triple H. And yes, but he stabbed the sword into the stage. It was a nice little entrance. Loads of fireworks,
like all the way up, and then he just puts it on the floor and then gives it a little poop.
Yes, very like opposite of King Arthur, as I was referencing earlier. They keep on saying that this is a main event worthy of WrestleMania.
I mean, the fireworks kind of gave it up.
To be fair, I wouldn't necessarily have complained. It wouldn't have been my like ideal main event of WrestleMania, but like
it would be a good main event.
McIntyre and Orton.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily. I don't like Orton particularly, but I think McIntyre and Orton work well together. I wouldn't necessarily complain.
I mean,
it's better than Orton and Edge.
What was I going to say? I forgot what was I going to say.
I don't know, Raph.
No. Oh, I know. So if this had been a competition of like us, like, because Aiden said that, kept saying, Orton's gonna win, I knew, even though you did say at the beginning, McIntyre's gonna win, but as soon as they put the stipulation, you were like, nah.
Yeah. So we'll get into that in a second. So the beginning of the match, Drew just literally dominates him. Mm-hmm. Randy tries to run away after a brutal Glasgow kiss headbutt.
Yes.
Oh, the noise on that was beautiful. He managed to get Orton back in the ring. Orton ducks underneath the Claymore, and then he tries to leave again. But this time Adam Pearce comes out, who is your new authority figure in WWE, I guess. Yeah. I'm not necessarily complaining. He's better than like a general manager.
Yes. Yeah, he is good at what he does.
Yeah, I like what he's doing. He comes out and he says, hey, no, this ain't going to happen like this. This is now a no DQ match and a no count-out match.
Which made you think.
So I was like, okay, cool. So Roman is going to come out and he's going to spear Drew. Because, like, obviously the stuff on SmackDown last week and Drew beat Jay. Drew came into Roman's house and he embarrassed him, essentially. I thought that Roman was going to turn up and spear the hell out of Drew and Randy was going to win.
And then I thought that if Roman came out, that he would spear Orton because he would want to face McIntyre on a real match and be like, you're mine now. So I'm going to make you have the title so I can kill you in a real match.
Yeah. But no one turns up. There was no interference at all in this match, surprisingly enough.
It made me think because of like coronavirus and how Roman...
Yes, I do think that's a reason why we haven't seen much like crossover at all.
Yeah, because last year we had the entire roster like coming...
Yeah, last year we had NXT invading everywhere, and the year before that we had the stuff with Becky and like, all it's become a trope with Survivor Series over the last few years, is the invasions. So
I'm not surprised that we didn't have that this year.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised that Roman didn't show up on Raw, but then at the same time I was like, Roman has to be careful. Like,
yes. Yeah. But yeah, once we come back from the break, once it's after been announced to be no DQ, Orton's kind of back on top. He's using weapons to work down the broken jaw of Drew from all that time ago when Randy punted it lots. They try and use the announce table like 5 times and it just will not break. They get some really good spots off it. It's not clumsy at all, but it just won't break. And you can tell they want it to break and it just won't break. Drew does like this does a Claymore. Randy judged out of the way and Drew does not break the table.
Halfway through this, like Orton manages to get a table from under the ring.
He sets up another table during the advert break. We come back into the room with this big superplex spot. Orton is on the outside of the ropes and Drew manages to smash his hands off. Randy falls through that table behind him. Drew sets up for the Claymore again, and this is where I thought Roman was coming in, because they focused on Drew's face for like 30 seconds while he was getting ready for this Claymore.
Yeah,
and
it was
like, what is going on here? It felt like they were waiting for someone to come and run in, because obviously like a spear, the counter of like a spear into a Claymore, it just makes perfect sense. But nope, Drew goes to the Claymore. Randy manages to catch him into the power slam. Randy looks for the RKO after this, but Drew pushes him away into the ropes and then rebounds into the Claymore kick, and Drew McIntyre wins.
Woo!
He is your new WWE champion, and we'll be getting Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre at Survivor Series.
That's like the thing that I'm most excited about Survivor Series.
Yes,
honestly.
We end the show. Roman set up a place at the dinner table because I'm coming over.
Yeah.
And Randy Orton tapped Drew McIntyre on the bum.
Yeah, that was
I don't
funny.
know why he did that. That was entertaining. It's
Yeah.
like, get off me, Drew.
By the way,
Get off
Randy
me.
got a pretty bad cut from the fall on the table.
Yeah, he got a little, yeah.
Really, he was a bit
He was like,
nasty.
oh, fuck.
Yeah,
He was not happy.
it was a little bit nasty.
I have to put expletive on this podcast now. I need to remember to do that.
Nope.
But yeah, actually, thinking about it now, like this will be the last thing before we go, because I know it's been a longer podcast today. But actually, maybe this is it for Drew and Randy, because this is such a clean win.
Yeah.
This is I was talking
true.
during the match. I was talking about the fact that it has to end with the Claymore. If Drew hits a Claymore, it's obviously over, because the entire feud, Randy has never been pinned by the Claymore.
Yeah.
Because they've always either avoided the Claymore, there's not been any Claymores in the match, or Drew's hit the Claymore and Randy has managed to roll away. So quickly.
Yeah.
And they've always managed to avoid the Claymore being the actual thing to finish a match.
And it could be just so Orton could now go over to the actual Fiend stuff.
Yeah, I kind of imagine that's where we're going to go, is Orton and Fiend.
And that would be nice. That'd be really nice.
I don't know where Miz falls in all this.
Later on, I guess.
I don't think he's getting anywhere near this title anytime soon. I know, obviously, they've kind of been feuding Drew and Miz.
Yeah.
But it makes sense for Drew to get this back. Hopefully we can get to that Drew and AJ feud now. That'd be lovely. That'd be awesome if we get to Drew and AJ.
We could get on Survivor Series, like, if Drew...
Miz ain't cashing in at Survivor Series.
No.
Not a chance.
Fair.
Because, like, if you think about it, I was thinking about it earlier myself about Miz cashing in when it was Randy. But, like, Survivor Series, this is the biggest match on the card.
Yeah.
And even if The Undertaker is the last thing on Survivor Series, which it probably will be, like, you can't do that.
I know what you mean.
And that's going to leave such a bitter taste in the mouth to have the Miz cash in a Survivor Series, because it's not going to be a shock. It's not. It's just going to kind of be deflating for Drew to win the title back 6 days ago and then lose it to a cash in from the Miz. But, it's a very quick way of giving Drew lots of title reigns.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the right thing to do.
Our predictions shall come on Saturday.
Saturday, yes. Saturday predictions. We'll be back for AEW NXT this week. Looking forward to the big Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai title match on Wednesday. AEW looks good as well this week. We get the Thunder Rosa versus...
Yes, finally.
I forgot her name. Serena Deeb match. Should be great. And then, of course, we got SmackDown on Friday. And then predictions on Saturday. And then Survivor Series on Sunday.
Woo!
It's going to be a busy, busy old week. But we will be here. We are committed.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.